In this Trauma Informed Foundations video, I'm going to be talking about what emotional flooding is. And before we get stuck into exploring this topic, because this video is trauma informed, I want to remind you that you are able to press pause and come back to this video at any point. You don't need to watch it all in one sitting. Please pace yourself as you're learning about trauma, the trauma healing space. And this is because often when we're talking about things related to trauma and to extremely stressful and upsetting periods in our life that have had a big effect on us, the body can actually feel quite activated. So we can experience some activation in our system when we're learning about these things. So make sure that you are well resourced, and remember that you can press pause at any time. So I'm going to talk about why trauma increases the likelihood of us having emotional flooding. And that is because when we've experienced a trauma in our nervous system, that has already told us that our nervous system has gone above and beyond its regular capacity. That is why our nervous system is often stuck in this state, in these survival states of fight, flight, and freeze in particular. And so we already are aware that we might already be in that really activated survival state, and the events that have contributed to us being where we are have been really overwhelming, whether they were acute events or whether they were chronic stressful events that built up over time. We've already got an idea that we're at capacity. Now, emotional flooding, it is what it sounds like. So it's this experience that the body has when we all of a sudden become connected and aware to what we have been either repressing or suppressing. And this can look like an activation of a lot of memories. It can look like a lot of emotions coming up. It can look like feeling a lot of sensations in the body. And it can also be a combination of those things and some other things as well. It's different for everybody, but so this is just kind of a generic overview of what I have experienced and what I've seen clients experience as well. Now, you might also compare emotional flooding to having, if you've ever had a very cathartic experience where you have cried a lot and a lot and a lot, and you felt like you can't stop crying. You're absolutely flooded with emotion. And while on the rare occasion there is there is space that can be made for that kind of experience, often this leaves us feeling really quite out of control and therefore not safe to actually process what it is that we are feeling and integrate what it is that we're feeling either. And the whole point of trauma healing is that we are processing and integrating these sensations, because our body has been stuck in the past from that time period. Let me just move this table back. From that time period, and it's like kind of like frozen in us at that time, not literally, but we can have a lot of release, and this can feel really overwhelming. And if we are doing this work by ourselves and we do not have all of those safety foundations in place, we are not well resourced, we do not know what helps to ground us, we haven't got people there to co-regulate with, we're not working with a practitioner in order to guide us and to bring us back into the present moment. And if these releases do happen, then it can actually be re-traumatizing to experience emotional flooding, because you just don't feel safe and you just don't have the capacity to actually feel and process and integrate what you are experiencing. And I don't say this because I'm not trying to scare people or anything like that. If it's highly likely that if you've been doing this work for a while that you might have experienced some of that. But when you're working with a practitioner, what we're doing is number one, what we don't really want emotional flooding to take place. We are trying to titrate and pendulate you with going on your healing journey. That emotional flooding doesn't happen. We don't want that to happen. However, there are occasions when it does become overwhelming, and all the feelings and the thoughts and the memories and the sensations can make themselves present quicker than what we would desire. And a big part of that is because while we go to trauma healing and therapy to talk and process and move our body and feel, especially in the somatic world, into those spaces, and we go there with the intention of working on that thing, the body has been storing a lot of things other than just that thing for a very long time. And so we're not necessarily, our mind is not controlling our body in that way. We're not consciously thinking, hey, I just want to process that thing that happened last year. If I can just work on processing that. No, the body senses that you are now in this space of doing this healing work. And it doesn't, the body keeps the score, but like just because we don't remember these stresses and little t and big T traumas that may have happened throughout our life in other periods, just because we don't remember them cognitively anymore doesn't mean that they're not still in there. So even when we are working with a trauma trained practitioner such as myself, the stress that can come out of the body when we begin to slow down, when we begin to make space, make capacity, when we are resourced, the body can release things that quicker than what we would like, and other things than what we came to therapy and support for. So when that happens, the trauma trained practitioner will recognize that. They were watching your body language all the time, and also communicating with you directly to see how you feel and to help you ground in that moment, and to help you feel resourced and to bring you back into the here and now. So emotional flooding can take place during sessions with therapists, but it is not that we are not looking to create those cathartic experiences with you. We are actually looking to do this very, very slowly, very, very well paced, and to help you explore and toe dip into your healing and into what you want to process and integrate very gently, very safely, making sure that you feel as safe and as resourced as possible all the way through that. So that's that. I hope that explains a little bit about what emotional flooding is and why emotional flooding can happen, and what we do in the trauma healing space to ensure that you are safe as possible, and that happens as little as possible for you. And also why I don't suggest that you do this work alone, and that you do have a support system in place. So let me just check my notes here. It happens automatically. That's the other thing. So this emotional flooding isn't something that happens that you just invite in. It happens automatically, because essentially what's happening is these old emotions, memories, thoughts, sensations that have been suppressed or repressed are beginning to come up, and then your body is going back into a survival state. And so it's this overwhelming confluence of different sensations in the moment, but it's not something that you can necessarily, like I say, we can try and prevent that from happening, and we do try and prevent that from happening. But if it does happen, it's not that you're doing anything wrong. Like I said, it's just it's an automatic response, but you want to make sure that you are supported and either by a practitioner, or that you have got a really good support system in place for yourself. Because as I said at the start of this video, trauma reduces capacity in the first place, and that's what we want to do. We just want to help you increase your capacity. What can it look like? I mean, I think I've already explained some of this. So it can, relating back to the survival states, so it can manifest in you as feeling panic, so feeling like you need to fly, you need flight energy, so feeling extremely anxious, and that you need to get out and that you need to move, and you should listen to that as well. I'm doing this now because I can remember that experience, and if that's happening, you want to work with that energy, and the practitioner would be able to help you work with that energy as well, when you are in communication with them about what you are sensing, what you are feeling. It can also look like disassociation. So sometimes if it is too much for you to handle, you can just disassociate and become numbed out from the experience and begin to feel disconnected, and also have that feeling of separation and floatingness. Or you might get really anger, because we think about the fight energy. You might also experience, so many of us have, all of us probably likely have a huge amount of unprocessed anger, because there's so much shame culturally around around expressing. Yeah, there we go, Freudian slip there, around expressing anger. And there are very safe ways to do it, especially if you are in a therapeutical setting with a trauma-trained practitioner. So pacing is extremely important in this work, as pacing and building capacity and resourcing and all of those things, grounding, it really help your nervous system to slow down and to help protect you from emotional flooding. So it's not a sign that you're doing anything wrong, but it is a sign that things need to be taken a little bit more carefully, and that we need to spend more time on those basic foundations. So I hope that has explained about what emotional flooding is, and if it's not like that for you, or if you've not experienced that, or if you've experienced it differently, that's fine too. And if you are on your healing journey, if you're looking to explore trauma healing for yourself and you'd like some one-to-one support, my name is Donna Louise, and I'm a trauma-trained somatic practitioner, a functional breathwork coach, a clinical EFT practitioner, and I'm also a trainee counsellor. And I help people to get out of survival mode, to restore their nervous system, and to reconnect with themselves. If you found this video interesting or insightful, and you've got any comments, questions, or concerns that you would like to share, please do so in the comments section below. Give this video a like and subscribe to the channel, and maybe share it with somebody that you know that might also benefit from learning about these topics. And until the next video, take very good care. Thanks for watching.